Hello, welcome to the 7th episode of the But I'm Knitting podcast. My name is Ramona. I'm a knitter from Toronto, and welcome to my corner of the crafting world. Hi again. This is my little supplementary thing that I forgot that's inserted before or in the middle of my podcast. I forgot to say where I was located for everything. So on Ravelry, you can find me as Mona Lee 81. On Instagram, you can find me at Rome_Raven. My blog is at butimknitting.blogspot.ca, and I now have a Ravelry group. It's called the But I'm Knitting podcast. There's not much in there right now. There's just a welcome thread and a thread for each one of the my episodes that I've done so far. So feel free to join. I'm sure we can have some kind of fun discussion or something of the sort. And well, back to the recording. Bye. Today, I realized I've never actually mentioned the day, but today is Wednesday. I'm actually looking on the clock on my computer. It's Wednesday, May 24th. It's a day later than I usually update, mostly due to the fact that I came home from work yesterday and I just crashed. I went straight to sleep, didn't do anything else, so understandable, I guess. So for today, I'm not even going to bother coming up with a title. You may see it, I've seen it already or not, I don't know. I'm not really going to plan for that. So today, I've got an FO, I got a new cast on, I got whips, and I kind of got a discussion topic, but I don't know. We'll see about that one. So we'll start with finished products. So I was determined last week I was going to have something done, and since I was so close, I finished my rye socks. So the pattern for these ones is by Tin Can Knits, called the Rye Socks, but they're not done in fingering weight, and these are I did it for fingering weight and redid the pattern for myself. The yarn I'm using is Knit Picks Hawthorn in the colorway The Pearl. So as you can see, very simple pattern, a lot like our flax socks. Yeah, it's kind of a bit baggy on there, but what you gonna do? So last week I had this sock finished, and I was up to here. So over the week I finished the entire sock. And it wasn't until I had them side by side on the sock blockers and I was measuring them out, you'll see the problem. Hold on. See how much higher this one is? Yeah, so I made the leg a little bit longer than intended, and I did not realize it. But oh well, I'll pretend there's slouchy socks just pushing down on my feet. So that's done. I can remove the stitch marker, don't need to worry about it, I can use it for a new project. So, it's one finished product. As I was working this week, I picked up a couple of things that I hadn't worked on in a while. First thing I picked up, well no, it's not the first thing, but I'll explain to that. I'll do that one afterwards. I worked a little bit on my sweater, and when I say a little bit, I really do mean a little bit. It's gotten all tangled. It is the Easy Lace Shoulder Top by Gabriella Falone. I added on probably about 6 rows. So where the stitch marker is here, that's where I was last week. And well, right now I'm up to here. That's like what? Not that big of a difference. But I was working on other things, and I realized yesterday, I think yesterday was the first day I picked up since the last time I recorded, so yeah. But I'm still liking the way that it's being done. I'm no longer using the burgundy color, which was Pagewood Farms Glacier Bay in the colorway Cape Cod Cranberry. I'm currently now on the orangey red color, which is Blood Orange. It's by Sweet Georgia on the Cash Lux base. Yes, that's it. So I got that. So I'm starting to work with just the orange color for the next little while before I break into my third color, which is Tanis Fiber Arts Blue Label in the colorway Buttercup. It's a really, really pretty, hold on, this color. This is what the top lace color is going to be. That's almost right. the darker parts of the yellow that you can see peeking through is pretty much how all of it looks. Maybe by next week, hopefully by next week, I will be at the lace part because I only have until the 15th of June to do this for the summer sweater knit along with the Canadian knitter and the Relatively Crafty podcast. Which reminds me, I need to put an update picture up on that on the group. Oh, I forgot to say, I didn't even introduce the rest of the stuff. You know what? I will see if I can do a little blurb thing and put the video in at the beginning so I could put the rest of the stuff that I forgot. But just letting you know, there's a Ravelry group now. There's nothing really there other than podcast. There's nothing really there except for podcast updates. So we'll see how that goes. What else do I have? I worked this week a little bit on my Strangled Vine socks by Karen Burr. I managed to finish off Total Repeat. Okay, so yeah. So where you see the stitch marker, that's where I've moved my way up to. So that's a bit of progress. It's not much, but my priority was finishing up those rye socks this week. So the yarn that I'm using for this one is the Wool & Vine Footsie Base in the colorway Pandora. I still really like it, but I'm still being ridiculously slow with these socks. I'm actually quite surprised that I have not made it further in this, but I've got a few other priorities right now, which is probably what's slowing me down from finishing up what I need to finish up. Oh, and maybe, I don't know if you know what? This is I guess a tip that somebody taught me because when I first started knitting, because I didn't have anything to hold the needles to make sure I didn't lose stuff. They just took the needles, especially for DPNs, and they just took the excess yarn that goes to the ball and just wraps it around the needle a few times. Switch to the other side, and it usually holds it pretty good. Usually your needles, they don't fall out. That's how it works well for me, at least for double pointed. Do it all the time. So put that in there. Yeah. And hold on, what did I have in that bag? Oh, right. So also this week, I'm just going to go to the cast on before I go to my other two projects. So this week I had a new cast on. I was asked to test knit a sock pattern by Karen Burr, and well, I decided to do it. So this one is called the Churros Socks. I love the name of it. I don't have a finished picture of it because my printer, let's put it this way, if you have to pay per page for printing, you're just trying to get exactly what you need and save your paper as much as possible. So the yarn that I picked for this, I actually I started this last week, Tuesday. So pretty much as soon as I finished recording and while I was waiting for it to upload it, after I finished editing and while I was waiting for it to upload, a message came through and I saw it. I'm like, yes, I have to join it. And I decided to use this one. This is the yarn I dyed myself, Cheeto Dust. This is the second skein I did, not the first one, because the first one's already been claimed. So this is what I used for it. And here is the sock so far. I really like the design that she came up with. So if you can see that, I think it turned out really good. I still have to put an update picture on the free testers page, but it turned out really, really nice. I'm still got about another repeat before I start the foot. Before I start the not the foot. Before I start the heel, and it's a heel flap and gusset, but not quite traditional. So I'm kind of looking forward to doing that part. And somehow or another, I got the yarn stuck through this. Oh, there we go. So the needles that I'm using for these ones are Haya Sharps in the 1 US, 1 US or 2.25 millimeter. It's not a size I commonly use anymore, but I'm actually quite happy I managed to pull them out just in case, because I didn't want to end up making these and they end up being that little bit too small, so they should be okay. I have 2 stitch markers on here. I'm using it to divide the pattern. This one I got from JB from the Just Because Creations. This is from not too long after we met again. Yeah, because we knew each other from like we knew of each other from like high school type times. So she gave me a set of stitch markers. So it was like orange balls. I added a progress keeper on it so I can attach it to things. And the other one is one of the chainmail stitch markers from Creations by Uli, or Knitter's Nook. She's Knitter's Nook on Etsy. Yeah. So I'm really liking the way that this is turning out, and I'm pretty certain I'll have enough. Maybe when I finish the pair, maybe I'll have enough for, like, I don't know, short socks or something like that, just to see the way the variegation goes without a pattern in the way. But I think it's turning out pretty good. So that takes care of. Ooh. And the bag it's currently being housed in is one of these ones. I got it from the Purple Pearl a few years ago. It had like 3 bags in it, 2 smaller ones than that. So that's by Karen Burr. When she makes the pattern live, I will let you guys know. For this one, I have until June 10th, so I gotta get cracking on it. But it's only 1 sock, not 2, so that's not as bad. So because I started working with something that required a pattern and I had finished my rye socks, I decided I need something plain and simple to cast on. So I cast on another pair of socks, and I haven't really made it anywhere. Well, I'll just tell you about the yarn that I'm using first. I'm using my plan is to use the oh my gosh, the Cozy Knitter. Yes, I got these from when I went to the Knitters Guild meeting, the last one I went to, and she had a booth set up. So this is it's called Gilded. I can't remember what the name of the base is. I'll probably put it underneath here. So it was dyed specifically for the Toronto Knitters Guild. So you can see it's got the purples, the pinks, and the grays, like 2 different shades of purple and a pink. I really do like it. I can't wait to get to it. But right now I'm only at the point where I am at I started the ooh, something just fell. Shows you I should wrap my needles. I just started the right here, the cuff, and this, she always gives like a 15 to 20 gram skein, mini skein of yarn just to do the heels, toes, and cuffs. So I started casting it on, and I only made it a few rows in before I decided I was going to bed, and then I realized, I'm like, hold on a second, I have a sock that's currently just sitting inside of a bag. It's been sitting down there for, good month, and nothing's happened to it, and it's a plain vanilla sock. Why did I cast on something new if I was just looking for something simple? So I pulled it back out, and so the socks with the yarn from the Cozy Knitter is pretty much going into hibernation until I finish another pair of socks at least, or at least the plain ones. The bag for this one is stitched by Jessalou. It's the Doctor Who themed one. I got this a while back. It's in one of those box bags from Stitched by Jessalou. So guess what I pulled out and realized it's long enough to put in a heel now? My Castiel socks. So how much have I managed to put in? About 3 rows. See? That's it. But I realized after a while, I'm like, well, that's going to be enough. It's time for me to actually put in the heel. The only problem is, this yarn that I used for the cuff, I don't even know what it was. It was some leftover from something else that I had gotten. I have no idea where it is. None whatsoever. And if it's time for me to put in the heel and I want to do it, I got to get going on it now if I want to be able to continue and finish these socks. So, oh, before I forget, I didn't actually say, I got the yarn from Gnome Makers in her Gnome base in the colorway Castiel. So I'm in debate as to what I'm going to do for the heels. I have 2 yarns. Yeah, let's forget it. I have 1 yarn because this is not enough to really do anything. This one, it's a red one that I don't remember where I got it from, but it's sock yarn, so it can work. I need it for the heel. And then once I put in the heel, I think for the toes, I'm just going to leave it in the basic color. Alright. So I'm using a Carbons DPNs in a 0 US / 2.0 millimeter. So looking forward to doing that. That's pretty much all it is. I've only done a few rows on that. So that is all of my current works in progresses and new cast-ons and finished objects. Yes, I'm happy. I did progress. I did a little bit on everything is mostly what it is. Yeah, I did a little bit on everything, so I really feel like I got it accomplished. So last week I said on Tuesday I was going to die after I finished updating the podcast. I didn't do that until like the next day, but it's okay. So my goal, hold on, yes, my goal, is this the right one? My goal was to match these two skeins of yarn. So this one was the one with the one orange packet from Kool-Aid. This one was my attempt with gray, right? The one that I call Solivar with the little brown bits that I really liked. I tried. I really, really did. Didn't quite work out that way, the way that I expected. Let me show you the comparison. First, these don't look like the same color at all. This one looks more blue, this top one. Like a bluish, it's not really a bluish gray, but it's a bluish undertone gray. It's really pretty, but I needed two skeins to work for a specific project, and this is nowhere close. I guess first of all, it would have helped if I brought down the one that I wanted to try and match. But it was pretty much a free form when I was doing it, so I don't know. It's pretty. I don't know what I'm going to do with it just yet. So I got to decide something on it. But it's nice. I do like it. And then the other one, my original, ooh, that's coming loose. My original one pack of orange to my comparison, they turned out pretty good. This one just ended up being a little bit darker, but for what I wanted to use it for, I think it'll be okay, and I don't think it will be too noticeable. Like, can you really tell the difference that much between the two of them if I put them in a shawl? I don't know. I was going to use it for the whiskey-fied shawl, because it's pretty much I need at least two skeins, if not a little bit more. And I'm hoping I can do these two, and then maybe I could do the bottom edging in another color if it's necessary. But considering, I think it turned out okay. The only problem is that the two new skeins gave me a massive headache last week. I was trying to, after I let them dry, my plan was then, of course, put them on my skein winder and, wrap them back up so I can turn them into a skein. They decided to get tangled. Like, getting it from the original skein into a ball was okay. That part worked out fine. But when trying to get the ball back into a proper skein so that it looked, neat, it decided it was going to choke on me at every opportunity. And unfortunately, it ended up breaking the yarn in here. So there's a break in this one, which makes me upset because it doesn't go straight through. Sorry, my nose is itchy. It doesn't go straight through anymore. I got so frustrated. It was like either I leave it as a mess on my skein winder or I cut it. So I decided to cut it. Ooh, what is this? But I did a pretty good knot. So it shouldn't be that much of a disturbance. I thought, okay, maybe it's just, this skein that was giving me trouble. No, when I went to go do this one, it did almost the same thing. It took me about 2.5 to 3 hours to do this one. That's kind of much. And this one took me like an hour and a half the next day. It was stressful. It was really, really stressful. I don't know what I'm going to do about it other than maybe make sure that it really, because usually with the other skeins, I let them dry for like a 24-hour period and that was enough. With these ones, they still felt a bit damp, but I guess I just took it to think that, oh, they'll be fine. I'm going to just let it hang, let it dry. It's not like I need the yarn for a project immediately, so next time I'm just going to listen to reason and just let it dry even longer. Let's see. What else is there? Knitting wise, that's pretty much everything. Oh, wow. I talked almost 20 minutes just about knitting. That usually doesn't happen. Sorry, my nose is a bit itchy. But that's okay. Let's see, what else has happened this week? I'm getting ready to do that dye class with my knitting circle. Only one person the person who's helping me organize it, she wasn't able to be at knitting yesterday. So only one person managed to show any kind of interest that they were interested in it. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I'm going to come prepared with the stuff that I need. I pretty much told them they had to come with the yarn, they had to come with a Kool-Aid packet. I was pretty much going to provide whatever else they needed. So that means I got to make a trip to like the dollar store, get a bunch of Tupperware containers type of thing. I got a bunch of stirring sticks to help mix the color without it tangling things up too much. Styrofoam cups is probably one of the other things, in a big Ziploc bag. Because the kitchen that we're going to be using already has a kettle and already has a microwave, and it has running water. So that pretty much covers everything else we need. So we'll see how well that works. You won't hear about it next week, but probably the week after, to see how well it goes. I've been wanting to try more things dyeing. Big surprise there. But I need to get more yarn. I have probably about enough for another 2, maybe 3 skeins if I stretch it, left on my cone, and that doesn't leave me with much. So I've dyed quite a bit. I've dyed quite a bit from what I got. So I guess what I'll start doing is, in the meantime, while I'm other than getting a cone, is putting in orders for acid dyes, bigger skeins of acid dyes. Although I did see a cool dyeing technique, not technique, but it's natural dyeing with using an avocado. I want to try it because I watched a video, I can't remember who did it, on YouTube, and she used an avocado pit, which apparently works like citric acid, as an mordant, I think it's a proper term, to help colors bind to the yarn, and the skin itself turns it, and the skin, which was dried out, and it will turn the yarn pink. Like, when you think of avocado, you think green, so that's what I'd be expecting. My aunt was kind of surprised when I showed her the video as well. Um, while I have been interested in trying new, my glasses are really crooked. Now, somebody did warn me about that. I'm not going to take them off. I'll be okay for now, because that's really going to bother me. So while, ooh, sorry, my cat went blind without them. So while I have been interested in concepts like natural dyeing, I really don't know the stuff to use, because people always seem to go out to their garden to get things and that kind of stuff. I don't go out into my garden. We have a garden. I don't go out there. Mostly due to the fact that I went out one time just to help my mom with weeding. I felt like I couldn't breathe the next day. So I generally try not to go too close to very many bushy areas, and our garden is very much a bushy area. While there's a lot of stuff that grow in there, it's really nice, especially when she comes in with fresh tomatoes, because I really like tomatoes, cucumbers. We've got, what, do we have lettuce in there? I'm not sure. We got strawberries for sure. We definitely have grapes because she has so much fun making wine every year. Um, we got quite a bit of stuff. I don't know what's required for natural dyeing, and I don't know if she'd be willing to, in a sense, give it to me. I don't know. I can't eat strawberries anyways, but I don't know if that would be good for dyeing and that kind of stuff. Um, I really have to start looking more into it. I am you might as well learn different ways of doing things if you can. So I guess that's going to be my next research project on top of other things to do. So, is that everything for the day? I believe so. Got nothing else really to talk about? Week-wise? No, not really. No, that's it, other than my crooked glasses, which are watching, and I hope to see you again next week for the next episode of the But I'm Knitting podcast. Bye!